you guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Summer House Martha's Vineyard. This is season 1, episode 6. And mess. That's what it was. But let's get into it. So y'all, this is probably about to be the shortest spicy corner ever on this channel. But I just wanted to show y'all, I found the tweet that everyone was shopping around of what Amir said. So I'm going to post it up for y'all so you can see it. So the tweet goes, "A lot of black females scare me, ... And somebody responded with saying, "You're not alone." The tweet is dated in September of 2012, so 11 years ago. Hopefully he's changed, but you can tell the type of energy this was coming from because he didn't even capitalize the B in black. So you already know. But hey, I just know I had it and I wanted to show y'all because I was mad that I couldn't find it the last spicy corner. But let's get into this review. So the episode opens up where we left off, where we have Jasmine crying at the table. And honestly, what it boils down to is Jasmine really values her friendships with the other ladies, more so Jordan. And she feels like ever since she got married, the energy between them as a friend group has been different. And she wants to still have that relationship with them because she values their relationship. And honestly, having good friends can keep you in a healthy relationship, and it can also pull you out of a bad one. So it is important to have and value those types of friendships. I always think it's weird when women, and sometimes even men, when they get into relationships and they fall off the face of the earth, being all about their relationship and not expecting their friends. And when the relationship goes south, you expect your friends to be there. When it's like, girl, you discarded me like trash once you got with that man. Go back. Like, that has never been something that I agree with when it comes to women doing that. Like, your friends were here before the man, and pretty much they're probably not going to be there after him. And that's your fault. So we see the group split up as they get in the car. Alex is excited to drive Simon's, I think it was a Ferrari, because he drunk, and Simon was like, "Who gonna drive my car?" Then we see the groups, I think it was like Preston, Bree, Amir, and Nick in the car. And Nick pretty much says it seems like she just needed to release that. She needed to get it out. So that's good for her. In the other car, you got Jason, Silas, Jordan, Summer, and Jasmine. And Jason is going on again about how 80% of women lose themselves in relationships, so it's important to be vocal about this stuff. And everyone's just tickled by Jason. We then see everyone get home, and they're all changing into their night clothes and stuff like that. And Silas and Jasmine are having a moment. Oh, we didn't get to see them have sex this time, thank God. But we had to hear it, and I'm tired of it. But we do have this scene with Jasmine and Amir where I feel like, Jordan and Amir, where I do feel like Jordan is giving Amir mixed signals. Because you are being flirtatious with him, but you're not saying verbatim out your mouth, "I don't want to be with nobody here." That's what, and it's feeling that way because you allow him to lay in your bed, on your bed. Y'all are constantly doing things together and you're being flirty back and forth. So I'm just kind of like, do you just have a flirtatious personality, or do you just want to mess with somebody in the house to because some people will flirt with people just because they're bored. And it's kind of given that. But we see this outburst from Jordan next episode where I'm just kind of like, but you've been playing into it. So what are you so upset about? But maybe they'll give more context next episode. So it's the next day. And we see everybody, doing things. Jasmine is making Silas breakfast. Girl, couldn't be me. And she keeps talking about how, she just really wants her friendships with her friends to be good. So pretty much she ends up burning Silas's breakfast, and he got a problem. And I said, "Oh, I cannot. But we see Jasmine go and talks to Jordan. And what it sounded like is the moment Jasmine got married, her friends kind of fell back from her. Because Jasmine's like, I check up on y'all. I just hope you guys will start checking up on me. So that is isolating. You get married and don't nobody want to make sure you good. Just because you got a man don't mean I don't need y'all to be like, "Girl, you all right? You good? Send a smoke signal." So Ashley Darby's sister finally shows up. Shanice finally gets there. Everyone's excited because it's the weekend and they're gonna do girls and guys night. And Shanice walks in. We find out that Jason and Shanice know each other because Jason used to hang out with the ladies, and Jason kind of had like a little crush on Shanice, but you know, it didn't go nowhere. Alex is in the kitchen and he kind of giving Shanice the look like, hey girl, stay over there. You know, it's like I told y'all, she give poison and rainbows and poison now. And so he's like, okay. We then see Shanice hug Simon, and then we get this dual confessional with Simon and Bria, and we find out that Bria and Shanice used to do OnlyFans, and I guess Simon is kind of like weary of Shanice the same way that Silas is weary of Jordan, but it's giving vibes that like Bria get wild when she was Shanice, and we saw it. So everyone's like, you know, doing their own little thing before it's time for everyone to go out that night for girls and guys night, and Summer sees Milo's poop underneath the table. So like Preston pointed out, Silas walked past Bria's room to go and tell Preston that we needed to have a house meeting. And Preston was like, you not tired of house meetings? Like, you actively walked past her door. Like, tell her to go pick up her dog's, like, stuff. Like, go pick it up. Because Summer is going around telling everyone, like, Milo pooped. So someone needs to tell Bria that Milo pooped. And Silas is like, I don't want to be looked at as, like, I'm the bad guy. Like, can someone else, like, can we have this house meeting? And I think that's what it is. I'm with Preston. I would be tired of house meetings. The only time we need to have a house meeting is if it's something that has, like, shifted the entire energy of the house. But tell Bria to go pick up that dog's doo-doo. Like, you brought him, you clean up after him. He is your pet, not nobody else's. There's no need for a house meeting. Silas could have knocked on her door and dipped out, but I guess he doesn't want any confrontation with her. But I also, it seems like he doesn't want to be painted as like being the overbearing or mean or bad person. So it's easier to like shift blame when everybody has an issue with one person, because you're not the only one that has the issue, it seems. That's why he likes to do the house meetings. So I think the guys go out and we see the girls do like a spa day. So we see the ladies all get ready to do like their little spa day and eat off a charcuterie board. So the first thing they ask is Jordan about how she feeling about Amir. And she's like, I think I made it pretty clear, like, I don't want, like, there's nothing going on between us. But then you have Amir in his confessional being like, she's kind of hard to read. And I agree with him because you're flirting with him. Like, it would be different if Jordan was like, nah, bro, we just homies, we just friends. But y'all are dancing on each other. You can clearly tell that he likes you, and Jordan plays into it. And I'm not saying she doesn't have a right to be like, yo, I'm not feeling you, because she does. She has every right to be like, bro, I am not feeling you. But it's given that you kind of slick like him a little bit. You just don't want it to go any further than flirting. And if that's true, then say that. Just say it. So then Shanice talks about how Alex is not her type. And I said, girl, you lying, because when he got up in his house, you was trying to climb him like a tree. You just mad that he found out about the whole stalking situation, and now you're uncomfortable because he knows about it. And Shanice gives more of her side about the situation where she said her ex lied on her and had people like harassing her. I think two things can be true, because she admitted that she did some of the things that the article was saying that she did. But I also agree that maybe it was just a very toxic situation where both parties played a role in it. But I feel like Shanice is just mad because Alex didn't want her like that once he found out about her history, because she then gleefully tells us that she had sex with some athlete. And it's like, okay, but you was trying to climb his pole. You was trying to climb Alex, girl. You was grabbing and touching all on him. So you just mad because he didn't reciprocate that energy. Let's not act like he not your type. So we see the girls get ready for girls' night and the guys get ready for guys' night. So girls' night looked fun. They was taking shots, eating good food, dancing on the dance floor. Bria fell into a bush. That man said, get out of my bushes. They were having a good time, and all the ladies were loving it because they were like, this is the Jasmine we love, because this was a Jasmine before she got with Silas. And that's pretty sad that she's not being herself. Like, yes, when you get married, you're supposed to like taper back those type of antics. Like, Yeah, you're not going out all night every night, but you go out sometimes all night every night. That stuff isn't supposed to cease unless you got like children. But if you free of children and you get married, I think you can still turn up with your friends once or twice a month, or maybe 4 or 5 times a month. You know, it just don't need to be a daily thing. So it kind of sucks that she hasn't been able to have this type of fun, and that's needed if she wants. No, if Silas, because Silas seems to be the one that wants this more. If he wants this to like move forward, you know what I'm saying, to be a long lasting situation. Because it's looking like Jasmine about to get tired of Silas and sign them divorce papers. That's why you don't get with nobody. The issue is, the reason why Silas and Jasmine don't work is because we all thought it was the end of days. The apocalypse and the rapture all rolled into once when 2020 was around. So you were showing different sides of yourself trying to pull anybody so you wasn't dying alone. And Jasmine should have let that man go after, well, I mean, we still dealing with the virus. But once the world kind of opened back up, Jasmine sort of chucked the deuces and says, you know, that was fun for 6 months. Now it's time to get back to regular life. But the girls was having fun. They was having a good old time. So we see the guys. The guys, my goodness. Silas want to have this conversation about nice guys finish last as it pertains to Jason. Because I think they were talking about, they got in relationships trying to figure out who Jason was into. And Silas just sounded like a misogynistic asshole. Like, saying nice guys finish last. And, like, everyone at the table was like, what? Like, nobody was agreeing with him. So he just looked crazy. Like, he was the odd man out. Then these groups of ladies sent them shots to their table. And he was drinking the shots. And I'm glad Amir was like, didn't you say free drinks when you're in a relationship like that? You can't do that. So, and then they notice Nick grabs his hand and notice he doesn't have on his wedding ring. So everyone's looking at him like, bro, you got all these rules for Jasmine, but you're not even following them. And that's how it normally happens. But Jason is getting tired of Silas because Jason feels like Silas is trying him, which he is. Because Jason was like, you know, I just had a baby 3 months ago. Like, if I get into a relationship, I want it to mean something. Because it sounded like Jason's situation with his the mother of his kids, it's giving, it was a one night stand, maybe a situationship, and they weren't supposed to have no children, but it happened. So now they got to figure it out. Silas starts talking about his stupid routine. He was like, you know, she acting like we on vacation, and all the guys are like, what do you mean? So Silas is pretty much upset that Jasmine hasn't been cooking breakfast for him like he normally does, like when they're back at home, and that she's kind of been lax on doing that as, like, you know, her wifely duty. And then he brings up how, like, she burnt the breakfast sandwich, and everyone's like, so you mad because she burnt a sandwich and she ain't fixed your breakfast? And Silas is like, I just like a routine. Dude, I get people being anal. I get people having like a precise, like, this is what we do no matter if we're on vacation. But you're actively filming a reality show and you're actively on vacation. You might be working from time to time, but you are on vacation. Just because you're a grown man, get up and make your own breakfast, bro, if it's that serious. You tripping. You was tripping. I'm glad they told him at the table he was tripping. So the girls get home first, and I forgot to say that Bria did a handstand and twerk in the parking lot, and I had to give her points for that. I said, kudos to you, sis. That takes strength. So they get home. Bria and Shanice are 3 sheets to the wind. Like the people, they is white girl wasted. Like they are drunkity drunk. And they're both fairly small. So it don't take that much to get them drunk. So they're running around the house. They falling on floors. They're dancing on top of the tables in their swimsuits. I think they're both wearing swimsuits, or maybe their underwear. Either way, they twerking, shaking all their yams on the camera. So then we see Bria and Shanice get like naked. They go skinny dipping in the pool. So they're just doing whatever they're doing. The guys finally show up and they kind of put on their swimsuits again. Bria like decides to go upstairs to her room. Shanice is still out because, so that's the thing. Shanice went and put on her swimsuit. That's why she was outside. Whereas Bria was like jumping in the pool or doing all that twerking stuff in her underwear. So like, as the guys come, we see Nick and Amir down in the basement playing pool. I think Alex went to sleep. And then it's Silas, Summer. No, I think Alex was in the kitchen. So Silas, Summer, Jasmine, and Alex are in the kitchen. And Silas asks Summer, like, was there guys around? And Summer is like, well, yeah, we was at a bar. What are you talking about? So Summer pivots the conversation, and she's like, well, were there guys around you, women around you? And Jasmine walks into the kitchen and she's like, honestly, y'all, I don't care. And I'm like, that's the mindset you should have. If you really think that your partner, like, in one night is just gonna dip out on you, y'all shouldn't be together, because there's no trust or loyalty there in that relationship. Like, I will never be in a relationship where I have to constantly second guess whether or not you gonna go outside and act a fool and embarrass me. Like, I don't want none of that. So, everyone's like having a good time. Like I said, I don't think I said this, but I always say like I said before saying something. But out of all the girls that were drunk, Shanice and Bria were the drunkest. Jasmine was like in the middle, and then it seemed like Summer and Jordan were the most sober, to be honest. So we see Simon get into the hot tub, and in the hot tub is Jason, Shanice, Jordan. But Jordan really wasn't in the hot tub. She had like her legs in the hot tub. And then Simon is in the hot tub. And they're having a good time twerking. Bria even got in the hot tub and was smacking Shanice's butt while she's twerking. Like, they were having a good time. But then Bria, I guess, got tired or hungry, because we end up seeing her eat steak. She goes in the house. While she's in the house with a towel around her, we see Shanice in the hot tub with Simon and Jason and Jordan just fully undress herself, take off her swimsuit, take off her bikini top and her bottoms, and just jump into the pool. Jason is like, oh my God, we showing titties now? He said, okay, this is a bit much. So he's just looking at her like, okay. Simon wasn't even like staring at Shanice. He was just kind of like, woo, all right. So he's like in the hot tub. She jumps in the pool, but then she gets back out of the pool and she gets in the hot tub. And so she briefly walks out. Bria comes downstairs with Milo, and she briefly walks out to the hot tub, and she sees Shanice naked dancing, and Simon is dancing too. I don't know what kind of dance moves Simon was doing. It was so uncoordinated. I said, my God. And she walks back into the kitchen, and Silas is in the kitchen, and I think Summer is in the kitchen too. And like she was like, Bria's outside naked with my man. And Silas is like, what? She's like, she's outside naked with my man. And Silas is like, what do you want me to do about it? So he follows Bria. And Bria's like, really? Bria sees Shanice in the hot tub with Simon. She's like, really? You really out here naked in front of my man like this? And Shanice is like, huh, Bria? Like, what are you talking about? And Bria's like, what do you mean, huh, Shanice? Like, you really out here with my man and y'all are fake. Saying that she felt like the house was fake for not reprimanding Shanice and telling her that was inappropriate to be naked in front of her man. So she come back in the house. So does Silas. And you see Simon come in, and while Bria's eating steak drunk, being like, you about to leave this house. You either gonna go upstairs or you gonna leave this house. And Simon is confused because he's trying to explain himself like, it won't that deep, girl. And she's like, no, because you about to leave this house. You about to leave this house. And I said, oh, see, Bria, since episode 1, Bria has been mad. The whole entire 6 episodes, this lady has been mad. So Jordan is in the pool having a moment, talking about every time. And Summer's trying to rub on Jordan. And I'm like, Jordan, stop. I don't know why y'all like Jordan, because Jordan to me is trying to have different moments. I can see why people find her more likable than other people on this cast. But out of the girls, I would take Summer. And we ain't even seen Summer for the longest. Summer seemed chill. Summer seemed like she hear the vibe. But Jordan be trying to have moments. It feels like she's always trying to have moments. So everyone's like, okay, so the night winds down. Like, Simon is trying to talk to Bria, but Bria is pissed. Like, she don't want none of it. We end up hearing the Coopers doing it again. And we see Amir text Shanice talking about they having sex again, loud and proud. He's like, we need to, he was like, can I grab an extra room in your bedroom? Because, you know, in Jordan's room, there's two twin size bed. And I don't think there's not a door frame in Amir's room. So I think he's directly below them. So he was just like, yeah, can I get another room? And they're like, yeah, you can have that bed. So he comes and gets in bed. So we see everyone goes to sleep, and it's the next day. So it's the next morning, like I said, and Bria is still mad about Shanice being naked in the hot tub with her man. And so we see her have like several different conversations because she wants the house to be mad at Shanice, and she's frustrated that nobody in the house is mad at Shanice because she has a conversation with Nick. Nick ends up telling her like, girl, like I'll listen, but I'm probably not going to give you no input because I wasn't there. Then you have her speaking to Summer about it. Summer does not look like interested in this conversation either. And you then see her talk to Preston, and Preston's like, Bria, do you not see that like you're the common denominator in a lot of the things that have been happening in this house? Like you're being like, and Bria's like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, girl, you are. Then we see her on the phone with her mom, and her mom is trying to like advocate for Shanice, pretty much saying like, you know, I don't think she did it to be disrespectful. So we find out that Shanice, Jordan, Alex, and Amir are gonna go play tennis. And so they go play tennis because Shanice wants to like get to know Alex better, and so he doesn't like start like keep being weird around her. They play tennis. We find out that Shanice used to play D1 basketball and that Jordan used to play sports as well. And so they start talking about the whole naked situation, and Shanice is like, I don't know why Bria is acting this way because she's never done this before, because me and her used to go skinny dipping in front of my man and it wasn't an issue, but it's an issue now that I'm doing it with you. So it sounds like to me that like this is what they do when they're together. But maybe Bria never felt like Shanice in her situation held any weight because Bria keeps reiterating, this is the man I think I'm going to marry. So maybe that's why it bothers her more, because she feels like Simon could be like a long-term, like more cement partner in her life. You know, I don't know. Either way, if y'all was doing that when y'all was free, maybe you need to tell your friend, don't be skinny dipping in front of my man. But everyone's kind of looking at her like, girl, it's not that deep. Bria is pouting. So we see Bria in the house pouting in the bedroom with Simon. Simon looks kind of annoyed, but Bria doesn't want to go to the rosé party. So they're going to have like a rosé party out on the lawn. And we see, I think it was Jasmine, Amir, Jason, and Summer, and they were driving, and I think Jasmine was like, we need to check on Bria and see if she's coming, and Summer was like, well, I went and talked to them in the morning, and she said she not coming, like she needs to take a beat, and Jasmine's like, she not coming, what about Simon? And she was like, I don't know if Simon gonna come. So they're like, okay. So we get back to the house and we have this confrontation between Silas and Jason, where Silas is trying to instruct Jason to move the table out of the house. And Jason is like, dude, I'm not stupid. I know how to move a table. We then get a little more backstory about Silas being like, you know, as a platoon captain, like, when we're out in the field, we have to tell you everything. We reiterate everything, even the most basic things, because it's such a high intensity situation. That's just the way that I like explain things. And you hear Preston being like, you're controlling. Like Silas is controlling, and he thinks he's controlling Jasmine, but he's controlling. And we find out that Silas grew up in a refugee camp. And it kind of makes more sense about him, because what I know about refugee camps is that there doesn't seem to be structure. There doesn't seem to be organization. It's like everyone's trying to find a more stable home for themselves. And it's a lot of uncertainty, and that can be very overwhelming. So it would be like a trauma response to that would be to take control, of wanting to be in control of everything. And then he's also born to immigrant parents that always instill in their children, which we've heard across the board, that like, you come to America, you're coming here to be successful. You know, you don't get in with a bad crowd, like success. So I think for him, he just don't know how to let that stuff go. But it's not a cute personality trait, and he need to go to therapy. So we then have this scene between Jasmine and and Silas, where Silas feels like he reprimanded Jasmine, talking about he felt like Jasmine let him out to dry at the table, and she said that's in your head. I don't know what he thought Jasmine was supposed to do and be like, hey, you guys, be nicer to my husband. He's trying to help move a table out on the lawn. I was like, Silas, shut up. Shut up. So they're all asking to see if, they're all trying to figure out if Bria and Simon are going to come to the rosé thing. So we have this scene where they're putting all the linen and the table, the plates and all the cloths and all that stuff on the table. And Alex says that Jordan is looking thick. And she was like, what? And she was like, she didn't know if she needed to be offended or complimented by it. I said, girl, that's a compliment. That's a compliment. So Jordan ends up talking to Alex, and Alex pretty much tells her that, you know, when the house first got here, people kind of called dibs on each other. And Amir was the one that called dibs on you. And I supported him in that. Like, he said, you know, which I probably shouldn't have, but I did. And, you know, I felt like it kind of made it hard for people to get to know you because it seemed like y'all were like trying to hook up, you know what I mean? So Jordan feels some type of way because she's like, why are y'all having conversations about me without me being there? But I was like, the girls have done that too about Alex. But I guess no one wants to be objectified. So I can understand her frustrations, especially when her whole storyline has been like, you know, being a Playboy bunny and people not wanting to be like, not knowing if people really like her for her or being a Playboy bunny, which I was just like, no one cares about that. But I can understand it. So everyone finally gets onto the lawn. Even Simon comes, but there's no Bria. And we see Shanice taking a shower, but she's finally putting on her clothes. And so she's pouring herself a bottle of rosé. She's topless. And we see her in her confessional saying, like, you know, I want to have a good time. I mean, we're out here for this, like, you know, for vacation. Like, I don't want to be uptight. I want to drink, like, you know, champagne with my top off. And she walks out onto the balcony, like, with her top off, being like, hey, guys, don't start toasting without me, with full view of the titties. And everyone's like, girl, what? You got Simon trying his hardest, closed eyes, not trying to look, because he know he done got cussed out by Bria, and he don't want to get cussed out again. You then have Silas being like, that's not okay. Like, why would you do that? And then you hear Jasmine saying, like, that's not okay. That's not okay. And everyone's kind of like, girl, what? I told y'all, she give poison and rainbows. She be doing too much. Like, I could let it slide at the pool party time because everyone was drunk and having a good time and it was a vibe. But it's the next day, you already got into it with your friend or your supposed best friend, and now you're exposing yourself, and that doesn't mean everybody wants to see it. Like, not everybody wants to see your titties, girl. Like, you did too much. That's where the episode ends, you guys. So remember to be bravely authentic. Also, subscribe and hop down in the comments below. Deuces.